everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
Back.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. The lion. New man looks in so fine. Kirk Cousins.
All right. I am Janae Strother.
I am Sean Spencer.
And this is Let's Talk Football.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy. It's one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know, but it's Tuesday. That means Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable, baby. Oh, yeah. And I'm not alone. I never am because I can't do this by myself, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with the host of Diversity with Delilah Crespo.
Hey.
Yeah. And hey, I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek. The host of another show coming up. Oh, I'm so excited. But we'll talk about that a little bit. And you know who it is. My guy, Mr. Nick. I want the smoke, Rosario.
Why, thank you for that generous introduction, Mr. Spencer. Happy Tuesday, everybody, and let's do this.
Let's get it. Yo, shout out to the people already in here. Kyle Yates is saying, let's go. Yeah, baby. And Ash saying, hey guys, what's the scoop? True? Oh, okay, Wendy. Bahaha, me the champion. And season ain't over yet, Wendy. We'll see what happens.
1-4 in championship games, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
Yet, my dear, I love you. All right.
Delilah said was good. Yo, appreciate all of you that are here watching us. Welcome to Let's Talk Football, the Roundtables.
Let's talk.
You know who I'm with, the coolest two cats in the whole entire world. Okay, we're not talking about cats and kittens. Let's keep on moving. Hey, we're gonna have a couple special guests, but first and foremost, let's go ahead and do this. This is the first episode in 2022. Happy New Year's, ladies and gentlemen.
New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Yo, did you guys have a Happy New Year? Did you guys do anything exciting?
I did.
What'd you do?
I was at my buddies. You know, I had a nice
was at
time.
her buddies. I mean, she was at my buddies. Yes.
Yeah, the bar and grill in Chicago.
How was the prime rib? Did you have the
delicious? Yeah. No, it was nice. They kept it limited because they're trying to be responsible because of COVID. They just sold a limited amount of tickets. So I was very comfortable. Okay. So yeah, it was a nice time. I got to go out and be also safe.
It looked like fun. Yeah, it looked like fun. I saw some of the video that they put up. So that was
it was a good time.
Looked like a nice time was had by all.
Oh yeah.
I was in Rolling Meadows. I was just with my friend and her boyfriend in the suburbs. We kind of chilled.
Yeah.
Had some food, chilled out, had a few drinks, stayed up till about 3 a.m. watching Cobra Kai.
There you go.
I've heard that's the thing. That's the thing to do.
Hey, we finished all 10 episodes, so yeah.
I finished all the episodes the day after on the first.
There you go.
We did that, just kind of chilled out. So it was a nice little weekend. Yeah, it was fun. Good New Year.
Oh, wait. And shout out to people who are in here. We already got David Wright saying, congrats, Sean, on the big fantasy win. I didn't win. Because Ash won. Shout out to Ash winning the fantasy football championship. Holy Toledo.
And you know how she did it? Najee Harris on that last touchdown, right?
Good job. That's
great. Okay, Nick. I don't know how you got kicked off the show, but it wasn't. I'm still waiting for him to fumble. He needs to fumble.
What happened? I'm surprised he ran. I thought he was going to stop short. He ran it in, so that yeah.
He did. Did you see that? You know what? I'm no longer a Browns fan. I don't know. That has nothing to do with anything, but I'm no longer a Browns fan. Let's get it. Yo, we got to get it because we have people on the show. We have a lot to talk about. Before I do that, however, if you watched Let's Talk Fantasy Football yesterday, you saw the tribute I paid. I'm going to go ahead and bring the shirt down.
Uh-oh.
You see what it is? You see what it is from Strange Cargo, which is no longer there in Chicago, Illinois, man. The shirt says, thank you for being a friend.
Yes.
Betty, that's no. Before the New Year's in 2021, Betty White passes away. Ladies and gentlemen, tore my heart up. I'm not even gonna lie about it. I'm gonna go ahead and go with this. Hopefully, man, copyright and all that stuff don't hit me with it. But thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is good. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you had a party and invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me. And the card alone would say, thank you for being a friend.
Woo! All right, Sean.
Right, get it, Sean.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I am a young 38 years old, and I absolutely have watched that show all of my life. I may or may not have like all 7 or 8 or 9 seasons on my computer.
Oh, is that what it? Okay,
we're not going to go down that road. I might have a little addiction.
I get it. I do the same thing. I rewatch it as often as I can on Hulu because they have all the episodes. So I'm like, I understand.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Great show. Great show.
I also, respect. Some people are in comments are saying this, and I'm glad that they brought this back up. Also, breaking news: Dan Reeves passed away.
Yes.
The coach of the Denver Broncos. He played for the Cowboys back when, and then he also coached the Atlanta Falcons. You know,
the Dirty Birds.
This man, he did his thing. Like he was just ingenious. He had in a 4-year span, he had the Broncos in Super Bowl 21, 22, and 24. You know what I mean? And those teams had John Elway and a defense. You know, they didn't really have a running game. They didn't really have a lot of other stuff going on. So shout out to him. And then, Anthony Handy, appreciate you being on here. Hey, rise up, bro. Because he sat there and took an Atlanta franchise with Jamal Anderson. You talk about Dirty Bird. And Chris Chandler at quarterback.
That's right.
And got them to the Super Bowl, beat probably one of the better teams in all of our recent memory with, Cunningham and what's his name? Randy Moss and Chris Carter, all those guys. They beat them in the championship because Gary Anderson missed the field goal, man.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. It came down to the field goal, and did it.
Yeah.
So, definitely RIP to him and his family. Just he was one of the great coaches of the younger years. So,
him and Ditka played on the Cowboys together when Ditka was a tight end. Him and Reeves were on the team. They were teammates. Yeah.
So, shout out to him. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so glad that you are here with us. We are here to talk football. This is the Roundtable, no doubt about it. And look, we've seen there's a bunch of stuff going on. The playoff picture's in there. We're going to definitely dive into that. But before we do, unless you were living under a rock, and I know I say that a lot, but unless you're living under a rock, you absolutely know the number one story, even bigger than the fact that Joe Burrow sat there and went off these last couple weeks, and especially this weekend, and he's dominating. The number one story this weekend, Antonio Brown just quits. He's the incident with the Jets, and there's a lot going on with this. But listen, before we dive into this, I'm going to bring on my guy, Mr. Sidney Swinton. He's going to sit here and help us because this thing, we need to get context before we start talking about what happened. We know there's mental health. We know there's CT. There's certain things that might be playing in. And there's also things that are playing in. So I'm going to bring my guy in, Sid, to give us a little context on the backstory. Sidney, welcome to the show, my man. Appreciate you being on here.
Good night.
Thanks for having me.
Like we've said, man, you are a diehard Steelers fan. You may or may not have certain Steelers tattooed on your back. If you would like to, that's on you if you want to share, you know what I mean? But I respect the fanhood. Man. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. On his back, he has a Steelers with hey, shout out to you, man.
Is that Villanueva on the back?
Villanueva?
No,
the Raven.
Alejandro.
Yeah,
I didn't see the number on the other tattoo. That's why I was just.
24, 7, and 84 are the 3 numbers.
The 3 numbers? Okay, gotcha.
So Ike Taylor.
Ike Taylor's the Yeah, so a little backstory on the tattoo. Me and my brother decided, this is, I think, 2016, 2017-ish. We were each going to design a tattoo for each other blind. So we had to get the tattoo. I was going to design it for him. He was designing it for me. We were going to get it blind. Didn't know what it was. But that's the one he designed for me. The 24s, because they did it in Bumblebee jerseys. I have the 24 Bumblebee jersey. Ike Taylor, Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown was a 4-time All-Pro. He was the man. So that's why AB is the other one. So those are the 3 I got.
Gotcha.
I can dig it. I can absolutely dig
Makes
it.
sense at the time, sure.
We have a signed. You guys have a signed Taylor jersey on the wall too. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Respect. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My guy, Sidney Sutton, standing in front of the steel curtain. But look, you know why I brought you on here. You know why people are here. Shout out to all of you that are watching. The Antonio Brown incident, ladies and gentlemen, for you, those of you that don't know, if you saw Antonio Brown dealing with an ankle injury, went into the game, coming into the week, he hadn't practiced a couple of days. That ankle, he had tweaked his ankle. He came in the game, got a couple catches, but later in the game, he kind of felt like his ankle had tweaked. He didn't want to go back in. The coaches told him to go back in. He kind of was like, "Nah, I'm not doing it." Coach Arians came up to him and is like, "Look, you need to come back in the game." He said, "No." Gave one more ultimatum: come in the game or you're done. And he said no. And then all of a sudden, you see the scene that everybody has seen. The gloves went off. The pads went off. He's throwing this. He's throwing that. We all know. We all know where everybody's coming from. Oh, it's either oh, he's spoiled. He makes all his money, or mental health. We all know this. But we need to give a little context to this situation. Sidney, talk to us about the information you found, the things that you followed. You followed him when he came out of Central Michigan, went into Pittsburgh. Talk to us about the backstory, buddy.
So I'm going to start with where everybody thinks this happened, the Vontaze Burfict hit. It was a very brutal hit in the AFC 2016 AFC playoff game, wild card game. He takes a hit coming across the middle, goes completely limp. It was a really gnarly hit straight to the head. So a lot of people are attesting that to what happened. So that happens it's the first week of January 2017, but it's the 2016 season. So it's 2016 wild card. So that hit happens. Month later, February 27, 2017, we signed him to a $68 million deal, making him the highest paid receiver in the league. So we still had all the faith. So this is 2017. The very next season, he plays the 2017 season. Juju got drafted this year. I'm saying that because it adds context to what's going to come up next. December 2018, so the following season after that first year, he plays on that brand new contract. Brown gets in a disagreement with teammates going into week 17 of the season. He reportedly throws a ball at a teammate, storms off, doesn't practice. They don't activate him for the game. And if I recall correctly, we needed to win that game for playoff seeding to get in the playoffs, somewhere along those lines. And he doesn't play. Perfectly healthy, but doesn't play because he threw a temper tantrum at practice and walked off. And Tomlin said, "All right, then you're not playing." So after the playoff loss, and before the playoff loss, he actually had the locker room incident right before the Burfict hit. So this is a little bit before what I said I was going to do. But right before the Burfict hit, he goes on Instagram Live right after a loss, and Tomlin's yelling at the team, and he's just in there like showing his face, like smiling at the camera, and he's getting reamed by the coach after a loss. So that was the first incident that everybody saw. Then the Burfict hit, then the extension, and then gets pulled out of the game week 17 of December 2018. February 2019, 2 years to the day, he signs the highest contract for the wide receiver in NFL history. At that time, the Steelers and Browns meet and decide that they need to part ways. So we trade Brown to the Raiders for a 3rd and a 5th round draft pick. That 3rd round pick turns into Deontay Johnson. Just so if anybody else wanted to know a little tidbit, that was pretty
like
good.
that.
So he gets signed by the Raiders, March 2019. July 2019, in the offseason, he gets frostbite on his feet, and so he doesn't want to practice. He doesn't practice because of that. The August 2019, so 3 months later, he has the helmet issue. So anybody that doesn't know what happened in that helmet issue, the NFL, you have, I believe it's like 6 or 7 years to use a certain helmet. Or maybe it's even 10 years, and they rotate them out because they're constantly evolving. They need to be more safe, strictly because of CTE. And Antonio Brown's helmet has now become expired, and he throws a hissy fit. He doesn't want to. He's not going to play. He needs that helmet. That's the only helmet he's ever going to play in. Blah 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 blah. Not a month later, the Raiders fine Brown because he hasn't showed up to practice. 3 days after that, he gets cut by the Raiders. So we trade him to the Raiders for 2 picks. Doesn't even play a single down. Doesn't even practice really. He showed up to a week of practices and that was it. Gets cut, signed to the Patriots. They play for a week. Then he gets the sexual assault allegations. That's a separate issue, but I mean, it's still an issue. Yeah. So he gets cut from the Patriots. So then all the allegations with that go on and off. There's a lot of off the field issues that happen there. There's police. He's Instagram living at his house as his wife is getting arrested. He's Instagram living the cops arresting his wife right in front of his kids. It was a very bad scene. It's like, what is this dude doing? Why is he doing this? Anyway, all that happens, gets in more legal trouble. He gets suspended by the league in 2020 because of all those incidences. He finally gets back reinstated. Brady asks Arians to bring him into the Bucs. He's back level-headed, not in the media for the first year that he's with them. Second year, obviously. And then some of the stories I've heard, obviously none of these are confirmed, was he was upset with the Buccaneers organization for how they handled his COVID in suspension. They didn't have his back through it, so he was already mad at the coaching staff. So then going back in, when he came back from that incident, he was already upset. He tweaks his ankle. Obviously, Sean says exactly what happened, and that's where present day takes place. So that's what a lot of people are pointing back to, is that initial Vontaze Burfict hit. But now, what else I found digging into this can go back a long ways with Antonio Brown before the Vontaze hit. So it starts, apparently he was a very bad kid in high school. He was a very great athlete. I mean, obviously we all know who he is today, but he only got one major scholarship offer out of high school. It was actually to Florida International University. Nobody knows that because they technically said he never went there, because before he even played it down, he got expelled because he fought a security guard. So he's on campus for less than a month, gets kicked off, expelled from them. He walks on at Central Michigan, which is where he was drafted out of, played there. Another fun little tidbit, he played with J.J. Watt at Central Michigan before J.J. Watt transferred to Wisconsin.
Okay.
But so then he plays at Central Michigan as a walk-on, makes the team as a walk-on, but still is late to there's multiple reports of him being late to practice, not showing up to meetings for the team, blah, 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 blah.
And actually, real quick on that, Kat, if you want to come in here, to further bolster your part in Central Michigan, I have to shout out my fiance. My fiance lived in Mount Pleasant, Michigan at the time. She was teaching. I believe this was 2007, 2008. You want to come in here?
And I left after that.
Yeah, you want to come in here and
sure. Oh, I have putting the headphone thing.
I mean, just so you can hear what they're saying.
All right, so I can't hear this very well. Sorry, guys.
They're not saying anything.
Oh, you're not saying anything. That's fine. Hey, guys.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's quite all right.
No, so I actually was in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and that's like right next to CMU. And my last year there was 2007, 2008. He was a freshman there. What most people don't realize is he actually was a walk-on. He walked on, and then he ended up getting a scholarship, played for 3 years at Central. The reason why I kind of did not like him, I won't lie, nothing against him, but he beat Michigan State in 2009 against Central, beating Michigan State. And being from Michigan, that's like not okay. Like everyone was calling me. I'm like, what? Fire up Chips? I mean, I cheered for the Chippewas, but not wanting them to beat Michigan State. But anyway, I had to bring that in. But that's what I remember, because like, I mean, I'm like, who is this guy? Like I had heard about him my last year there, and like he was a great player. The thing is this. In light of all of this, the key thing is there's so much more to him than we even know. And we can all speculate and say one thing or the other. We all have different lenses and different situations that are going on. And to me, like my lens is just natural to be like, what is going on? What has happened to cause this? Because to me, I mean, I know what a player he was at Central. He came back in 2019. I don't know if people know this, but after like when the situation happened and he left, I think it was the Patriots. I'm not the big NFL person here. You guys all know this college. He went back to Central, and he went back to school there. And he took like 4 or 5 classes, and then he came back and helped the team, and he was a big part of Central Michigan. And so he's well respected at Central. He's like their number 1 player. And so to me, like seeing someone come back and in that situation going back to school, he is someone to me that seems like he's reinventing himself, trying to figure himself out. I cannot imagine right now being in the spotlight during COVID, during all of this. I mean, we all, like, if I had a video camera on me, people would be like, what is wrong with her? We've all had those moments. So I can't imagine going through all of this. I personally, this is my take, is, you know, what's going on? Could it be depression? Could it be anxiety? We really don't know. But to judge someone at a situation where it's being like televised, and there's been so many memes, so many different things, we really don't know what's going on. Everyone has their take, their own lens to this, but the key thing is being respectful, listening to one another, trying to learn and trying to understand, and not passing judgment so quickly, because we really don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe he could be what some people think as spoiled, and oh, look at, he didn't get his money and he's not getting this, and that's why he did this, and he's throwing the towel in. Some people think it's the CT. Some people think this, but we need to give him that time to talk about it. You know, eventually he will. Hopefully he will find some time to let people know what's going on. But right now we need to give him some grace and take the time to listen to each other, learn from what other people are saying. It's so important to remind ourselves that everyone has a different lens when they're looking at this case and situation. But for myself, he was a rock star at Central. And to go back to the university when you're having problems on the field and come back and then to help out again, you know, I don't know what's going on with him. I just wish him the best grace. I want him to be happy. I want him to be like in a good place. So, but that's what I have to say. All right. Sorry.
No, thank you.
All right, and fire up Chips.
Yeah, fire up Chips.
And out of respect to him, fire up Chips. And I actually did put a video up of him and his experience at CMU, so you guys can see the background and just what he did at CMU. I mean, he beat the Spartans, so you know.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
He's not saying much. Nobody cares about the Spartans. Oh my God!
No, Sean. You're sleeping on the couch, Sean.
That's right. You're on the couch.
I was already sleeping on the couch. All right, let's go.
Right.
But yo, I so appreciate that. I so appreciate that because you're giving the context to the story. And I'm going to come back to you real quick, Sid, and before we really dive into this, that I like that context, but at the same time, what she didn't talk about was there were several incidents at that time that kind of got noticed. There was a the
football team. There was like bikes being stolen, all kinds of stuff, but it wasn't. They never got. They never told you who it was, who was doing that. A lot of things where he didn't show up at practice.
So there's a lot of things that are speculation, and obviously now once he got into the league, we've seen what happened. There's been stories. I know, Sid, I talked to you about it. I've talked to other people. Ryan Clark is one of the people that, you know, was kind of like, you know, once this dude got his money and got those big contracts. I mean, look, we all know if you are sitting there and you are poor and you don't have anything, you win the lottery, you know what I mean? That's going to change you. If you were a bad person at a certain point and then all of a sudden you got all this money coming into it, then that, you know, that's not going to make you a great person after that. So this is going to be an issue that is going to, you know, people are going to be on both sides of the fence. But I want to come back. I want to actually, Sid, did you finish what you were saying on that?
Yeah, I was going to wrap it up from, I got a little section left to kind of fill in, and then I'll kind of get the whole timeline in there. But yeah, like, I mean, just like she said, Central Michigan beats Michigan State. That is not something that happens very often. So obviously he's a very good player, highly touted talent. Everybody knew it, but going into the draft, the big knock on him was not only he was undersized, which was one thing, but he had off the field issues is something that was listed. And so that was just another thing that could have been going wrong. That's why he falls to the 6th round. He comes into the Steelers as a 6th round pick and balls out. Like, he drafted in 2010. 2011, he has 1,000 yards. 6th round pick. The second year, he goes off. So he played in our championship game that we lost to the Packers as a rookie. in that first season, and he had a great playoff run. That's where he really first shown himself as a rookie. Second year gets his 1,000 yards, and then we give him a contract. He was a 6th-round pick, so he wasn't making anything. Has a 1,000-yard season, we pay him. So we signed him to a 5-year, $42 million deal back in 2012. During a practice in the offseason, right after he gets paid, he gets hit by Troy Polamalu or Ryan Clark. It was one of the two. I can't remember exactly which one. And he yells at our defensive coordinator, Dick LeBeau, who, if nobody follows the Steelers, he's a Hall of Fame coach, and he's absolutely respected by everybody that he's ever coached. And he yells at Dick LeBeau, and he yells at him.
He's been around for like 40 or 50 years, isn't he? Hasn't Dick LeBeau been around? He's a lifer.
He played and then coached for like 40 years. He was in there for a long time, so everybody loved and respected him. Antonio Brown, a 3rd-year player, 6th-round draft pick. Granted, he just got paid, but he gets hit and he yells at the defensive coordinator, and he's like, "I'm the franchise. Don't touch me." Blah blah blah. The whole defense wanted to fight him at that point, and that's what the Ryan Clark story is. Ryan Clark came out and he was like, as soon as this dude got paid, he changed. He was different, and so obviously, and then from there on out, he balls out. I mean, arguably the greatest 6-year run a receiver has ever had stat-wise. From there on out, and he's getting his flowers. So there's not a lot of off the field stuff because he's built. I mean, he's the man. There's like not a lot that can touch him. Now this is where it gets interesting. And when I brought up Juju earlier, so he got his extension after the Vontaze hit. We drafted Juju. Juju has an amazing rookie season. Goes for like 1,200 yards, and he's named the Steelers team MVP. Every year, the Steelers name their own team MVP. And Juju gets it. He gets it in week 16. Week 17, Antonio Brown throws a fit at practice and doesn't play. And then we cut him 3 months later. All of a sudden, he's not the man, and he gets there's an incident, and then the whole timeline, and that's where it kind of wraps around. And it's just there was a lot going on before the Vontaze hit. It sounds like. There's obviously a lot that's gone on since the Vontaze hit. Is it CTE? Is there something from this past that happened? Obviously, but there is a long timeline of incidences that involve Antonio Brown. So,
and that's the issue, and that's where I want to come to you, Nick and Delilah, because look, people are saying CTE. We've been Kat and I, shout out to Kat, appreciate you, babe. We've been looking on the Central Michigan pages because her and I are both. Of a journalistic spirit where we want to figure out the issue. We're both teachers. We're both educators. We come from a line of educators. So we are wanting to find out if the child or if the individual is something wrong. It's not always just them. Sometimes it's the family. Sometimes it's the upbringing. Sometimes it's the background. So Delilah, I'm gonna come to you. I mean, come from that aspect. I mean, look, we've seen kids have temper tantrums and things. Like, what do you think?
I don't know, because obviously we know this. I mean, earlier in the year, we know like the whole COVID thing, right, with the vaccination card and all that stuff. So it's like there's a lot of things kind of piling onto the other. I guess he felt some kind of pressure and said, I'd rather just, get this fake card and stuff for whatever reason. And I think that also has to do with who is around this man. Because obviously there were other people involved in that situation. He literally, the only reason that this happened is because someone tricked on him. See, people, money talks and bullshit walks, and I'm sorry, but that's basically what happened. He owes somebody money, and they're like, all right, cool, I'm gonna let them know what happened, right? So who are you surrounded? Because that's exactly what happened. That's who they got the tip from, like his chef or something. And so what I'm trying to say is, I don't know who he's surrounding himself with, because that does matter. Like, who are the people in your corner? Like, you can't always have a yes person, right? You need people to check you and be like, what are you doing? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, what is this going to look like? Who are his PR people? Where are his agents? Like, where are the people that are supposed to help you process through all of these and navigate all these different scenarios and situations? Because in my opinion, he doesn't have good people in his corner. At least not based off what's happened. If there's a track record, regardless of where he goes, I don't think he's surrounding him with good people. Like, the one thing I give props to Tom Brady, whatever you think, he didn't throw him under the bus like a lot of other people did, okay? All he said, like, it's a difficult. He didn't. He said it's a difficult situation.
Yeah, you're right.
And I'm here for him. And he said, I'm here for him. Right? He said he needs to talk. He needs somebody to talk to, whatever. He didn't throw him under the bus like a lot of other people have been doing. And so, regardless of what you think about him, he totally could have, right? Because the only reason AB's over here is because Tom Brady's like, come play over here. So he totally could have been like, what did I do bringing this guy to the Bucs? But he didn't. So whatever your thoughts, at least he didn't do that. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I know that we're talking about mental health, and I really am a big proponent of mental health. I really do believe in it, mental health awareness. And I think that, and I said that in the show a long time ago, is that I don't know if the NFL does enough for like anger management, right? Like life skills, like all these different things. Like, it's not just the physical, right? Physical is just one aspect of a person, but like, what is your overall well-being, right? Where's your emotional health? Where's your psychological health? All of that's connected. If one thing's off, it throws off the rest, right? There's balance. And I know that sounds like juju, but it's not. It's true. It's like, if you're not mentally there, it affects you physically, right? There's science that shows that. Right? Like depression manifests and different, right? Mental health issues manifest physically. Yeah. And so like, I have no idea like what's going on, but I feel like in general, AB is not the only one. Like right now we're focused on him, but we know that there's always been all these character issue players that we see kind of run into problems. And I feel like that's something that's lacking in the NFL in general. Is like, cool, you have all these doctors on staff. Well, do you have any psychiatrists on staff? And I know that sounds stupid, but it really should be part of their whole medical thing. Do you have psychiatrists? Do you have substance abuse people on there to help people who actually have substance abuse problems that we know? Do you have emotional support staff? Like that is so important. I think that's something that's really missing, and that will go a long way to addressing a lot of this, because again, not all of these people have that. And for a lot of that, talking about this is very taboo, right? Any athlete that comes out and actually discusses it, we've seen it, right? They get bombarded. That shows weakness. No, it doesn't. It doesn't show weakness at all. And so like, no one's saying no one should not take accountability. He's not getting a free pass. That's not what we're saying. To Nathan's comment. What I'm saying is that I do truly believe that, and I said before, that a lot of men who come into the NFL are not ready. They're not mature enough yet. Some people come ready and some aren't. And that there's a missing key. I don't know if you saw the Aaron Hernandez documentary on Netflix. I did. And I'm not saying that he should not have been charged with murder. That's not what I'm saying. But if you actually studied that, if you actually watched the whole thing, and when they cut open his brain, because that's unfortunately the only time you actually see the effects of CTE, unfortunately, is after death. It was ridiculous. They said his whole brain was like basically like, they don't even know how he was even functional, right? Exactly. And so again, it does matter, and I think that we should look at that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he should get a pass.
No,
I don't think anyone's saying he shouldn't get a pass and he shouldn't be held accountable. But the way you hold people accountable is also by giving them help, correct? Giving them rehabilitation, and that's the giving him the way back.
What you said before, and I think he put shout out to Nathan. But he put his question in a little bit later, because you were saying it's we can talk about him, but let's talk about the camp. Let's talk about the people around him. You don't surround yourself with yes people. You don't surround yourself with people that are just going to say, oh, yeah, you're the right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But Nick, I'm going to come to you on this, because one of the things that we've talked about on this show, I mean, we've talked about CTE, we talk about, upbringing, we talk about this and that. But like I've always said, if you have somebody that is poor and has been poor most of their life, and then they win the lottery, if they were a bad person when they were poor, they're not going to be great just because they got all this money. So all of us saying, oh, he's got this money, oh, he needs to get that, just because people have money and just because people are in the limelight, that's actually worse for somebody that maybe can't handle some of this type of stuff. So Nick, I mean, come on, what do you think?
Well, there's obviously a lot of things at play here, but I think, where there's smoke, there's fire. Okay, let's just be honest about that. You can take any number of these incidents that have happened in Antonio Brown's life and say that, man, that kid probably needed some help back when he was in high school. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're giving you instances going all the way back that far, meaning here's a 16, 17-year-old kid who obviously had problems with authority or had problems with just people telling them what to do or just, things of that nature. So that's one thing. So then you magnify that. Let's just say, for the sake of this discussion, that when it's found out later that he had CTE, well, then that stuff gets magnified. Because again, what does CTE do? It deteriorates the brain in certain areas with certain functions and certain motor skills and all this stuff we're finding out more and more as time goes on. And so, yeah, you can, in a sense, lose your mind if something like that is going on. And again, I know he's exhibiting some crazy behavior. Again, you can laugh all you want about him stripping off his shirt, throwing a jersey, throwing.
Yeah. And look, real quick. Look, whatever happened, we saw that, and yes, we see the memes and everything, and that's something that it's a time for another show. Look, the what is it called? The trial by media and the trial by public.
Yeah.
Come on, get off of that, because my fiance said, if a lot of people put a spotlight on some of the stuff that we do and say off camera.
Oh yeah, come on now. For sure.
But sorry, Nick, go ahead.
No, but I mean, I'm just saying it goes with all of that, because again, now you're going, oh, here's Antonio Brown again. Look at him. What is he doing?
Right.
He's acting a fool. Blah blah blah. Doesn't want to play football now. Releases a rap single the same day he quits football
and goes to a Nets game.
And goes to a Nets game and is sitting there watching. So there's all these things, right? And again, could he be just an egomaniac, narcissistic? Sure, he could be. Very well could be. Or is he a guy who now is suffering because maybe he was that before, but he takes a few hits in football. Now he doesn't know how to deal with any of that. Because as you said, there's obviously, given what Kat told us, here's a kid who went back to school when he really didn't have to.
Right.
He got millions of dollars. Like, what are you going back to school for?
Right.
But he goes and takes 4 or 5 classes, speaks to the team and helps out. That shows you someone who's actually in control of something they're doing. Or, at least showing a compassionate side or whatever to want to go back and do that. Or a side that, maybe I need a little education. I need something here. I need to improve myself in whatever way. So this is what I'm saying. You never truly know what someone is going through. That's the bottom line. We all know that. But I just think to take all this stuff for, as a whole, you're just like, you don't know what to do with any of it. Because again, on one end, the history with Antonio Brown. So you see this latest incident and you go, well, that's par for the course. But then you hear about these other things and you go, well, see, got it. So you really don't, you really don't know. And it's funny because there was a guy who played for the Chicago Bears named Tom Waddle. Tom Waddle was the receiver. Tom Waddle was a receiver for us for about 5 seasons. And the only reason that Tommy played 5 seasons was because he got wrecked pretty much on every other play. This was a guy who had multiple concussions in multiple seasons. Tommy only played about 5-6 years for us because his career was in fact cut short. I think he finished his career with the Bengals. He made the practice squad and then he got cut. But he talks about this all the time. He's now on my local radio here, ESPN 1000. He has an afternoon show with his partner, Mark Silverman. And Tommy has talked about stuff like this with the CTE and the, he feels that maybe when he's older, he might have issues. He has issues now. He's 55 years old. And he said certain things, man, don't always work right. Motor functions sometimes, or, this and that. So, it's very possible that something could be going wrong in Antonio Brown's brain. But again, we will never know until, unfortunately, the man has passed on and they decide to take his brain and dissect it and do all of that. But in the meantime, as Kat said, he's a human being above all. Someone we don't know personally, but we have rooted for on the football field. Obviously, again, being a big Steelers fan, I'm sure Sydney every Sunday was happy when Antonio did his end zone dance. Every time he scored a touchdown,
especially when he came to Washington and did the little
exactly. This is what I'm saying. It's like he's got, people always, athlete, Charles Barkley always says, we're not role models. We shouldn't be your heroes. And in some ways, you are right, because these are just athletes playing a game. We love our athletes, we love our teams, we love when they win and all that. All the accolades are great. And then stuff like this happens, and then you kind of, not judge, but you kind of examine the character of a person and decide whether or not you know what I mean? Like, well, I love what the guy did, but as a person, I don't really agree with any of that, or I don't, I could care less about any of that or whatever. So I just think, it's just one of those things again where you go, you hope the guy, if he needs help, you hope he gets it. Like you hope he's humble enough or somebody realizes it and goes, hey man, you really need to get some help. And he listens, or he turns himself in and says, yeah, I do need some help, that sort of thing. And that's all you can, that's all you can hope for. Again, he's probably not going to see a football field again. I mean, it's just, given everything that's happened, you don't feel like somebody else is going to give him a 10.
I can't say 100%. Yeah,
I can't say
100%. I can't say 100%.
No, I know this is the NFL after all.
Yeah, this is the NFL.
You're right. You're correct. You can never say 100%. But there's probably a good chance that Antonio doesn't really get a chance to play football again.
Right.
And so, what will he do? What's going to go on? All that stuff. This will be talked about, I'm sure, for months and months to come. And next year when the season starts, they go, well, Antonio doesn't have a team. Who needs a receiver? Blah, blah, blah. All this discussion will come back up. So again,
they called Cam Newton, and we see his passing ability.
Wow. Yeah. Well,
but look, Nick, before I don't want to interrupt you, but I wanted to bring in Anthony's comment. Anthony said, big thing about football is the preeminent physical expression society says masculinity is. These young men are trained to be physically violent to a point all their lives almost, and then when the game is over, they're supposed to flip the switch and bloop. I'm trying to say it the way you would say it, bloop. Regular guys, but they're not provided with the professional outlets to accommodate.
Exactly.
I love that, and that's absolutely right. Thank you so much, Anthony, because that is absolutely right. Hey, Kat was saying, think about Simone Biles. Look, we get on these athletes, and we get on it because yes, they make a king's ransom for what we say is a child's game. Okay, but at the same time, you think about it. And somebody said, I was watching something about what some of the guys, Pablo, I can't think of his name, and Foxworth, and some of those guys. You've seen those guys on NFL Network and all that stuff. And one of the things that Foxworth was saying, he said, I used to be the player rep for the NFL and things like that. And he said, I played college ball. I played in the NFL, and thank God I was able to get some things that were able to help me out. But he said I played with guys, and I still talk to them, that played before and got hit, hurt, whatever, what have you, and then never went on to the pros or anything. So any injury that they have that's lifelong, whether it be knee, leg, whatever, or head, they have to go to take care of it with that. There's no background for a lot of, especially coming out of college into the pros. So when you see these guys that have this great talent, you're like, oh, we're going to push you to the front of the line because you were just you were, and even at coming out of college, he didn't have that. He didn't, it wasn't like, he was picked, Sid said, he was picked in the 6th round. Nobody looked at him like, and character issues were one thing, but nobody wasn't that game changer. But when he came out and got paired with a great Hall of Fame quarterback who we will discuss later for another show, Big Ben, you just saw, and just with the whole Pittsburgh franchise, you saw what he did and he was able to do. And that played such a huge role in kind of pushing maybe some things that we all kind of saw, or maybe some little red flags that we saw. It pushed it down because, as we said, if you have ability, if you are that amazing, people will overlook some of the other things you got going on. And that's a huge problem.
Always.
But listen, at the end of the day, and we've been going on for this for a while, but I think it deserves this kind of time. At the end of the day, I'm going to read a comment, and it's by a great philosopher. I think it's Confucius. If it's not, forgive me. Don't quote me. Boom, boom. Confucius, but he said, it's really simple. He says, be kind, for everyone that you meet is fighting a harder battle than you. You really don't know. We all think that we all put everything in our perspective, like, oh my God, well, if I was in this position, I wouldn't do da. But we don't know what people are dealing with. You've seen all these memes that are like, oh, you see, if your job was a picture, this is what it was. But the reason why the meme works is because we can all kind of somewhat agree with it. But the thing is, we're kind of at that point where we're like, well, I can't say this. I can't go to my job and say, oh, really? Blah, blah, blah. And then, I can't do that. So I bite my tongue and I keep moving.
Well, that's part of the part too of where people say, well, he's here's an athlete who has millions of dollars, so he can tell his boss to go kiss off.
Right.
Us sitting here making our $40,000-$50,000 a year jobs, we can't tell our boss to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's
We
what
can
it
do
is.
Some of us say it with our faces because some of us have
sure.
resting bitch face.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes.
if people could read our faces.
Yeah.
Hey, Sydney's a guest. Don't talk about him like that. That's not nice.
Oh my gosh. Smoking already, and we're not even like.
Look, no, wait a minute, Todd. See, thank you. You brought my segue in. Sid, since you're on here, we got some more time. I want to bring you on because look,
oh Lord,
you guys got the W last night.
Oh, the W. The dreaded W over the Browns.
Moving out the playoffs now.
Look, maybe. First and foremost, let me talk to Najee Harris. Najee Harris, whatever money I sent you, I want that taken back because I did not win my fantasy. Stop, Ash. No, you will not talk about. Congratulations, Ash. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Najee Harris
you guys got the
win.
W. Big Ben, we saw what he did. The Steelers are still alive. And I got to talk about this because I love to talk about this, even though Washington's not in it. But
playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
I just hope we can win a game. I'm going to go into it. Sid, you're still alive, man. You're still breathing. Nobody else in this picture is breathing right now. We're all into next year.
We were dead on arrival. What are you talking about?
I mean, if you go back and watch these shows, I think like 3 weeks ago, when we had the Ravens, Titans, Browns, Ravens, I said we're gonna beat the Ravens, or no, Ravens. Titans, Chiefs, Browns, Ravens. I was like, we're gonna beat the Titans. We're gonna lose to the Chiefs. We're gonna beat the Browns. We're gonna beat the Ravens. We're gonna go 9-7-1, and we're gonna make the playoffs.
You did say that.
Some teams won more than I was hoping, so now I need some help. My team's doing what I said was gonna happen. If we were in the NFC, we'd be in, but we're in the NFC.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a big Jaguars fan this weekend because that's what the other thing we need to happen.
It's gonna be crazy.
Very tough, but I'm gonna hope and pray and watch Ben's last game if that's the last game and enjoy it as much as I can.
Sure.
There it is.
Sure.
There it is. So look, let's bring up the playoff picture. Here's a playoff picture right now, and we see the AFC. Tennessee at 11-5. They need to get the W. They play Houston. Well, we see KC's up there at 11-5. Cincinnati with that great Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase connection going on at 10-6.
Gotta love it.
Your division, Sid. Sorry about that. Buffalo is in there at 10-6. New England's in there at 10-6. And this is where it gets crazy.
That's where it gets nuts.
Indianapolis needs to beat Jacksonville, which seems easy to all of us. Right. It seems easy, but we saw they couldn't get it done.
We've seen upsets before this year, so
Chargers and the Raiders play Monday night. Loser is definitely out. Pittsburgh at 8-7-1. You can thank the Lions. It's still available, and they have to play a Baltimore team that somehow at 8-8 is still in the running. Holy Toledo! This thing is wide open. It's wide open.
Tiebreakers.
Like I said, there's not even a team with home field advantage. Like maybe Tennessee, guess they just gotta win.
Tennessee should win for all intents and purposes and get that number one slot. But who knows? Like this, it's been such a wacky year.
But even with Tennessee, even if Tennessee wins it, and we're like, okay, the story, the news today, if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, the running back Henry. Derrick Henry had the foot injury. He was dealing with that. The reports are he's practicing tomorrow. Wednesday is going to be his first day practicing.
They said he would be back for the postseason.
Right, back to the playoffs, baby.
Does that make the difference? I mean, we've seen at this point,
Tannehill finally is kind of before he left. Yes.
Well, right. But I mean, are we expecting him to come in first week and automatically run like that? Because that's why I don't. The reason why I'm saying that is because I don't necessarily. Tennessee has not been somebody that any of us have been like, Yes, we're gonna believe
fired
in these
up about
guys.
yeah.
Oh no, I'm just wondering if they'll get the bye week. That's all. I don't want the winning the whole thing is different.
Well, and see that makes such a huge difference. I'm glad you said that, Delilah,
because
for
them, oh yeah, they'll get to sit there. Yeah.
So and coming back to you, Sid. All right, so if Pittsburgh gets in, okay, and obviously it's going to be a lot of help. You're probably going to get into this 7th seed.
Right.
Then you would have to play at this point the 2 seed, KC.
If Kansas City wins, yeah. If it ends like this, because Cincinnati beat Kansas City, so if Cincy wins and Kansas City loses, they're going to flip.
Right, they'll flip 2 and 3. Right.
So then I always said I had this conversation with David a lot. It's so hard to beat a team 3 times.
Yep.
Kansas City beat us twice. Mess around and put us in the playoffs against them. And if we win a playoff game, whew.
If this is that last run, right? If this is that shot, man. One chance, Fancy, don't let me down. Let's go.
Hey, and then we mess around and have to play the Titans, who we've already beat.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we're in the Super Bowl?
What?
Yeah,
exactly.
Wait, Sid, I'm going to do it. Hold up, man. Sid.
That make me crazy.
If they made it.
Have happened.
If they made it.
True.
Hold up. Sid. Let me get to that parlay right quick.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
What are the odds real quick?
Hey,
what are the odds of that one?
$5 on the Steelers to win the Super Bowl, and I think you win 1,000 right now.
Let's go.
Is it really? Is that what it is? Yeah.
Let's go. So and that's the thing. I love that because the AFC is it's wide open right now.
It really is
absolutely wide open. We talked about it. There's teams that have victories over other teams, and if you play a Cincy, like you said, the 3 wins. But at the same time, what if somehow Buffalo gets in there? I don't know. I don't see that happening into the 2 seed. But if Buffalo gets a 2 seed, you've beaten Buffalo. You know what I mean? So this thing is wide open in the AFC. Now I will, and I'm gonna keep you in. I will go into the NFC.
That's pretty solid.
It's pretty much straight. The only 2 teams that are in that have not been sealed is the 9-7 49ers.
Yep.
And the 8-8 Saints. And the Saints play the Falcons. And you know what? Real quick, man. Kyle Yacy was on here earlier. That's our Falcons fan from Canada, and Anthony with that great comment came in here earlier. Diehard Falcons fans. Look, Anthony was on earlier in the year talking about the Falcons. They're not going to do anything. I got to shout y'all out, man. I didn't think y'all had any chance, but y'all really were in the hunt up until a week ago.
Yeah,
that's progress. Hey, y'all are in it better than we were. Just in case you don't know who we are.
Yeah, we know. The team with no name.
Hey, we'll have a name on the 2nd. All right.
That's what I heard.
That's the date. Yep.
February 2nd, 11 names.
I threw in the Washington Sean skins just in case they wanted to do it. I don't know. It was one of my fantasy leagues. I don't know, but we'll see. Yeah. But yeah, the NFC is wide open. Green Bay, we've seen Wendy who's talking about her Green Bay. They're playing Detroit. Go Detroit, anyways. The Rams at number 2, who need a Arizona loss to get that division. Obviously, Tampa. We can honestly stop right here real quick and say, hey, Tampa, Godwin hurt, AB out, Evans hurt. Does Tampa all of a sudden fall down under?
I don't know. They came back and won, right?
They're true, but
still
against the Jets.
I know. It's still.
Hey, shout out to Braxton Berrios, man. Shout out to my guy Braxton Berrios, man. He just dominated.
Thanks to him, I won $9 on FanDuel. So.
Oh, that's funny. $9.
So yeah, it's up in the air. Arizona, we see is still in. Philly, yeah, you're welcome, Philly. But you know what? Hey, you know what? Fair play. Matter of fact, let me.
It's okay. They're gonna be a first round exit anyway.
Let me stop this. You know what? Let me stop this. Philly, look, we had a deal a year ago. Okay, you were beating us with Hurts, and then you put in Sudfeld. And we got to the playoffs. So we were beating you, and then we left our quarterback in, and you got to the playoffs. So I think we're fine, Philly. And Sid, thank you. You're still on here. Tell Ash you're welcome. That Because now you guys can beat Philly since we didn't do it.
I'll tell you what, see, that's what I'm talking about. There you go.
Let them walk into the playoffs.
We wanted you to have the opportunity to beat them, Ash.
That's so funny.
Yeah, we wanted to have the opportunity for Dallas to lose to Philly in the first round.
But Ash, they're gonna lose in the first round, so who cares? They're gonna be like, they're not gonna get past the first round.
Hurts.
Yep, hurt, right. Look, so like we said, with the NFC, it's pretty. I mean, San Francisco and New Orleans. It really depends. If San Francisco wins, like we've said before, they got to beat the Rams. And they're in. If they lose and New Orleans beats Atlanta, New Orleans is in. Yeah. And hey, with that defense, we know the quarterback situation. With that defense, it's going to be very interesting to see if they can come in there and shock some people. We'll see what happens.
But all you teams messed up by not keeping on the heels of Green Bay, because now y'all got to go through Lambeau. And I say that as someone who lives in their division. I'm telling you.
But again, I go on track record. You're 1-4.
It doesn't matter.
It's not going to happen.
You know what? They played in 5. No other teams. They don't have that.
Yeah, I don't know though. I guess they're favored to win. They actually jumped ahead. I was looking at DraftKings and stuff, and Green Bay's favored to win it all.
Well, of course they are. I understand that, and I understand why. I'm just telling you, things happen when the playoffs start.
I'm just saying that they kind of
let the Steelers in.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Oh, great. Green Bay Steelers again. Great.
Shout out to my guy Kanye. He said it won't happen. It's Aints. The Aints won't make it into the playoffs. We know how you feel about them. Yeah. Let's get it. Hey, like you said, you think Green Bay will win the East or taking the whole thing this year? I don't know about all that.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I mean, they're favored. I don't know. I'm just saying that people like Dallas. I mean, there's so many teams that had a chance and they just could not beat them. Like the Rams couldn't. I mean, it's just, it is what it is.
Good. Hopefully the Cowboys.
And I'm saying that I'm not as obviously as you see. Like I'm not as I'm not as hardcore as Nick is, right? So I just
going on history. That's all. I have nothing.
I don't know. I feel ever since he let his douchebag flag fly, he's actually playing better. Did you notice that? Like, he is.
The man is dealing with a fake foot injury. Okay, he needs our compassion. Okay, and by the way, Nick, I switched to State Farm. Okay, I wanted my Rogers
David,
rate,
but just remember, if he goes down, you got Jordan Love. So there you go.
Listen.
I want my Rogers rate. All right, I want Patrick Price.
Rogers rate. Listen.
Have your Patrick Price. Have your Rogers rate. But I'm telling you.
Listen, first there's a bad
over there to win the big one.
The Cowboys have yet to beat the Packers, right? We know that. Sorry, Cowboy fans, it's true. Okay, that is that's the playoff rivalry. The Cowboys have not been able to beat the Packers to move on and win the NFC.
Get past the first round. They have. Again, you can call me a hater.
Like I
call
said,
me whatever you like.
All I'm saying is
the last time they won a playoff game was when?
Oh wait.
Thank you. They don't win in the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. Who's gonna beat Green Bay though? That's what I'm trying to be honest.
Listen, at the end of the day,
I'm just being honest.
Washington has the 9th pick in the draft. Hey, look, at the end of the day, Washington has the 9th pick in the draft. So all of y'all stink because we're gonna be in the 2022 Super Bowl. That's weird.
Whatever. Washington Admirals or Washington Meat Hooks.
Don't you go there, Nick. Don't you go there, Nick. All right. Don't let me do what I do to Dave on the show. You're out. You're out of here. All right. Look,
now who's hating?
That's funny.
Yo, hey, absolutely. I loved it. I'm glad we got into this because this is something so serious, not just with everything that's going on with CTE and Antonio Brown, but also with the playoffs being that this would be the last week of the season normally, this past week that we've had. But with the extra week, we've been talking about this all year. this is the one more week that we have. So this is going to be interesting because a lot of things are up in the air. Correct. Sydney, I am telling you this right now as being a co-host with you on Let's Talk Fantasy Football and being somebody that has supported me and my love for Washington and hatred for Dallas. I appreciate you being on the show. Go Pittsburgh. Go Pittsburgh, man. Okay? Everybody on your team but Najee Harris. I still got a bone to pick with him. Don't let me see you in public, bro. No, shout out to it. Yo, so hey, we will definitely Sid will be on with us for all the Let's Talk stuff. We're gonna bring him back on for stuff. I appreciate you, buddy, and we will holler at you later. All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Sid, take it easy, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look at this. Oh my God. Ash is in here talking about
I love it.
And David, right? No, David. No. No, David. Hold up. Quick PSA, ladies and gentlemen. The number 56 has been banned from all Let's Talk shows. Just random reasons. I just don't like the number.
The number
56 is not allowed to be on the 55, 57. I'm okay with 56 now. All
right, here we go. No 56 for you.
Not happening. Not happening. So we are going to move on, man. I absolutely had that was great. Honestly, we went on. We've been on for an hour doing on that, but I think both of those topics were big, and they kind of played off of each other with the Steelers still being alive and this and that, and the Buccaneers as well. But part of this show, one of the reasons why I love this show is because we don't just deal with the present. Sometimes we deal with the past. Ooh. And when we deal with the past, we talk about some great people. And this day, I am super excited because yes, we know what topic we're about to come to, but both of these guys have something to say about it. So without further ado, the longest running segment on Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable. Diversity with the buddy. And she is talking about Chicago's own Walter Payton, aka Sweetness. Ooh, sweet.
All right. Yeah, for sure. I had to those come. I know I've covered a lot of running backs the last few weeks. Some wide receivers, but it's okay. No worries. But anyway. So Walter Payton is a Mississippi boy. Okay. He's a Mississippi boy. His father was a factory worker that actually played semi-professional baseball back in the day. Payton, even as a kid, was basically super athletic. He was an active member of the Boy Scouts. He was in Little League. He sang in his church choir. Then when he went to Jefferson High School, he played drums in a marching band. He participated in his track team. Outside of school, he played drums in jazz rock bands, which was amazing. I love that I found that out, that he was also musical.
Yeah.
and that he was he played drums in marching band. I don't know if y'all see Drumline. We know how important right band is,
True.
To Black Americans, right? We know what's up. It's not it's a whole different it's a whole different flavor, right? It's a whole different flavor. So basically he was in high school because this is back in the day. Okay, we're talking about the 60s, and two high schools were integrated, right? Because desegregation was starting to in the South. It took a while to desegregate schools. So two high schools were integrated into one high school, which became Columbia High School. And so basically it was his junior year in high school that Walter Payton started playing football, because before that his older brother was playing football and he didn't want to compete with him. He just kind of wanted to do his own thing. So it wasn't until his junior year that he actually achieved success as a running back. He ran 65 yards for a touchdown his first high school carry.
Oh,
he was only 5'10", so he wasn't a big guy, but he made up for it in speed and strength, right? So and so that's kind of what happened with that. When the schools combined, some of the players and himself got upset because their coach then became the assistant coach. He was no longer the head coach. And so they sat out some practices, but they actually then, went back and played in the fall. Because, their coach was like, hey, I know I'm the assistant, but like, let's get you guys back on the field and stuff. Like, much appreciated, but he wanted to make sure that these kids had a chance to play ball.
Right.
And so they actually did return for the fall season. He earned statewide honors as a member of the Mississippi's All-State team, leading Columbia to an expected 8-2 season. His performance helped ease the local tension surrounding desegregation, as we know. Unfortunately,
when he will do that.
And as we know, unfortunately, I wish it wasn't like that, but Black excellence is what curbs a lot of like people going, oh, why are you in my school? Oh, you're a good football player. Okay.
It's amazing how that happens.
Yeah, great equalizer.
Yeah. So basically,
you're not one of them. You're one of us.
Right. Unfortunately, right.
OJ. I mean, keep going.
Yeah, right. So basically, Tommy Davis, who was the head coach at Columbia, claimed that he could always count on Payton when the team needed to score. Payton's statistics prove that it was no exaggeration. He scored in every game during his junior and senior years.
Wow.
Which is why he made all-conference team 2 years in a row. Payton also led the Little Dixie. Okay, remember these conferences were from back in the day. So
right.
Okay, I'm proud when I read statistics from the 50s and 60s. So anyway, Payton led the Little Dixie Conference in scoring his senior year and made the All-State team. In addition to excelling in football, he averaged 18 points a game for Columbia's basketball team. He leaped 3/4 of an inch short of a 23 feet long jump. He played baseball, and he still continued to drum in the school band, right? So he didn't stop. So he was just doing it all,
Yeah.
Despite being as good as he was, he didn't get any offers from SEC colleges. Okay, so he didn't get, even though he was excelling across the board, he still didn't get offers from SEC colleges. And so he was going to go to Kansas State, but instead he went to Jackson State University. Okay.
HCB.
Yeah. So so Sweetness decided to basically go to Jackson State, right? Everybody knows who that is now because of primetime, but
that's right, primetime.
Full circle.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So basically, they don't know how he got his nickname Sweetness, but he got it in college. And there's like there's not an exact reason. They're saying that it could be because his personality, his athletic grace, or if it was ironic because he was such an aggressive player. Yeah. So they don't really know, but basically that's where he got his name. It wasn't in the NFL. So Sweetness followed him from college.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so there wasn't really too much that I could find of why he was called Sweetness. So I guess whoever played with him. Baby. Yeah, so exactly. That's what it is. As a member of the Jackson State Tigers, Payton rushed for 3,600 yards. Obviously, this is his college career that I'm reading. Yeah. 3,600 yards, averaging 6.1 yards per carry, and set the school record for career rushing touchdowns with 65.
Jeez.
In 1973, Payton had a school record of 24 rushing touchdowns and was named the Black College Player of the Year. Again, sorry guys, different era. He won this award in 1974. In addition to being selected for the All-American team, he set an NCAA scoring record of 464 points. He led the nation in scoring with 160 points in 73. He holds 9 Jackson State records, as I said, including most rushing yards of over 3,563. Woo. October 20th, 1973 was declared as Walter Payton and Tiger Day throughout Mississippi by then Governor William Waller. So now October 20th in Mississippi, it's not just Tiger Day, it's Walter Payton Day.
October 20th. All right, good. Let me write that down.
There you go.
Right?
We're going to celebrate. Boss, I'm taking off today. Why?
Right.
Sweetness Day.
It's Sweetness Day. It's a whole other day.
That's right.
no other state, but I'm taking off anyway.
Exactly. Why not?
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is, right? They don't know. It still counts. It still counts. All right. He was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 1996. He also was inducted into the JSU Sports Hall of Fame. You know, like he's been quoted. I know people say it all the time, but it's kind of true. You know, he said, when you're good, or his biographies, when you're good at something, you'll tell everyone, but when you're great at something, they'll tell you. Right. And that's something to always remember, because it is true, right? The mantra is true. We know that, right? When you excel, people will tell you.
Yep.
So
my mom always told me, don't brag on yourself. If you're good enough, people will brag on you.
People will brag on you.
Exactly. So he was drafted, as Nick knows, right? Everybody here was drafted by the Bears in 1975. He went as a 4th overall pick. The Bears at that time, unfortunately, with the retirement of Gale Sayers, which is another amazing, you know, Hall of Fame iconic player. They couldn't, you know, they weren't doing well, and so that's when they kind of brought in Sweetness to kind of pick up that slack. I'm kind of doing more like the decades, right? So I'm gonna start with like his 1970s NFL record. During the 1976 NFL season, Payton rushed for 1,390 yards and scored 13 touchdowns. After the season, he was selected to play in the 1977 Pro Bowl, where he was declared the Pro Bowl MVP. At the time, he was actually the youngest player at 23 years old to receive that. So
that's when the Pro Bowl was actually a game that mattered.
Yeah.
They actually played.
Played.
Exactly. So he was only 23. So when he won, he was the youngest player to be voted MVP of that game. So, you know, you learn some stuff, right? He earned numerous awards during that season, including the Associated Press and Pro Football Writers of America, again, MVP award. A memorable game of the 1977 season was against the Vikings on November 20. He rushed for a then record 275 yards, which is insane. He broke Juice's record. You know, if you don't know who the Juice is, OJ, where have you been?
OJ!
Before, you know, everything.
Before the Naked Gun movies?
Yeah. So anyway,
the Naked Gun
movies. OJ Simpson's record was 273 yards. He beat him by 2 yards.
He got the last squeeze out of him.
Yeah. Got the last squeeze. Here we go. All the juice jokes.
That's right.
We're talking about OJ, not Orenthiel James. We're not talking about that. We're talking about OJ.
Oh my God.
Not the guy.
All right, let's get back on track. Come on.
All right, let's go. His record stood for 23 years until Corey Dillon of the Cincinnati Bengals ran for 278 yards on October 22nd, 2000. Adrian Peterson of the Minnesota Vikings set the current record of 296 yards in 2007. So basically, someone has to go in and now try to beat that 296.
Beat that, right?
Insane.
Yeah, no. In this passing league, no.
Yeah.
That record will stay. That one will good.
Yeah. So we'll see if someone could beat AP. All right. So 1980. So from 1980 to 1984, back-to-back years, he rushed for more than 1,400 yards in both those seasons. On September 19th, 1984, Payton passed Franco Harris as the active leader in career rushing yards. 3 weeks later, on October 7th, 1984, against the Saints, Payton broke Jim Brown's career rushing record of 12,312 yards.
Jet sweep to the right.
So that's when he beat Jim Brown's record.
Real quick. I apologize. I don't mean to cut you off.
No.
But I think the testament to him, if you ever look at that video, and Nick, I know you know this. Whenever you look at that video, he did it. He broke the record. You know, he did the high five, and then the first thing he did after that was get off the field. We're still playing the game.
Still playing the
you know
game,
what I mean?
Right,
He cared about the game. The records didn't mean anything.
No, they did.
That's why when Barry didn't break his record, it was an honor to him. But we're not going there. Let's go.
Oh, nice. Okay, so it was true because one of the other things. Sorry, Anthony and Ab both sent me something. So it did have to do with his aggressive play. So 3 of the rumors were if it had to do with his in college, because it did stem from college. I did get that right. It did follow him from college. So basically, they're saying like it did come from his aggressive play while practicing, while eluding a would-be tackler. He yelled out to defender, "Your sweetness is your weakness." That's hilarious. I hope that's true.
That is pretty funny, actually.
I hope that's true. I pray that is true, and that is how Sweetness got his nickname.
Right.
I hope that is
Sweetness
factual.
is your weakness.
Sweetness is your weakness. And then, you know, he threw in at the end of he was like, "Yeah, your sweetness is your weakness, Jack." You know?
Jack. I hope so.
This is 1980.
Right, exactly. Everybody was saying Jack. You're right. It's so true.
Right,
oh my God, that's hilarious, but it's true. All right, so basically, again, he's breaking records, right? Broke Jim Brown's. Basically, the thing that obviously we talk about all the time is unfortunately when he helped the team get to the Super Bowl. He didn't get a touchdown. However, there's a reason. Is because he was literally double and triple covered, right? The New England Patriots.
My dick is a jerk. Don't ever.
It was great. Well, this is not coming from me. This is coming from Jim McMahon, sir. He was targeted by 2 or 3 defenders on every play.
Okay, but William Perry gets a touchdown on the 1 yard line. Matt Stewie gets a touchdown on the 2 yard line.
Jim McMahon.
Nick, you're sensitive. Hey, it's okay. You got the ring. I know.
I know. No,
I'm
but
just telling you.
One of the things Walter
deserved it. He deserved it.
Really did bother Walter, though,
I
agree. He did not get the touchdown in the Super Bowl, though. Like all joking aside, it did bother Walter. He was alone.
Oh, it did.
At the end of the game, he was alone by his locker, and they asked him. You know, he didn't want to talk about it. He's like, I'll talk about it later. But yeah, it really bothered him that he couldn't get a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the president wanted to talk to him. Reagan wanted to talk to him, and he's like, "I'm not going to talk to him." But it showed the character when he came and said, "You know what? I will have the conversation."
For sure. No, I agree. But I'm just sharing.
You're reporting. I know.
I'm just reporting, and you guys react.
Wait. Are you touching the nerve? Touch the nerve.
But this is never an attack on Delilah. That's what I want her to understand. I'm not attacking you at all, sweetheart.
I know. I know you're not. I'm just reporting.
I'm just going with what you're reporting.
Don't read the comments, Nick.
I don't.
Anywho, but so Payton retired in 1987 as the leading rusher in history. At that time, okay, right? He retired in 1987 as the leading rusher until Emmitt Smith in 2002, who surpassed him, right? Because Barry Sanders, as I talked about about last month, he didn't want to break Sweetness's record, so
because he's classy.
Classy
guys don't do that. Right?
I'm not hating on Emmitt Smith for doing what he's got to do.
I am through him.
Anyway.
I'm hating on him.
Yeah.
That's right.
The man is Cowboys.
We want keep going. We want to keep going.
Again.
Slick hair.
So he played, 13 seasons. So now it's just his career stats, right? 16,726 rushing yards. So the fact that that's how long it was there and that it took, forever, so
no offensive line. Walter ran a lot. You'd see video. He'd run in circles.
16,000
He'd go
crazy.
This way. He'd go that way.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He ran
yeah.
He had 7,700 yard games, 492 receptions. Also, he only missed one game in his entire professional career.
Yes.
That's it. One game.
Second year in the league, I think he missed one game.
Yeah, that's it.
My God.
That's it. So, the all-time, So, he set 4 NFL records, 21 bear marks, the all-time NFL combined yardage leaders, named All-Pro 4 times, right? Made it to 7 Pro Bowls, just won all sorts of accolades, inducted posthumously in 1993 to the Football Hall of Fame, because unfortunately we did lose Walter Payton to cancer very early. He was only 45.
Yeah.
So unfortunately,
so
anyway, so we lost him young. Actually, no, it wasn't posthumously because he died in 1999.
Right, he's 99, but it was still 45 years old. Yeah.
So he was 45 when he died. He was inducted in 1993. His son is the one who actually gave his speech because I don't know if you know, but Jarrett Payton does a lot to honor his father's legacy. He's always making sure that no one forgets his father.
Yes.
And so he continues to make sure that people remember who his father was.
He's got a foundation, and
he's got like scholarships and things like that. Unfortunately, what happened is with Payton is he actually had a rare liver disease that turned into cancer later, and so it was kind of unfortunately it was too late by the time they caught it. And so that's kind of what happened. So that's why before that he pushed transplants, and his son does too. So his son is a huge advocate for Dogen being an organ donor, as am I, because I lost my brother when he was young too, because he's waiting for the organs. So I kind of understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
So I know it sounds sad, but remember he has a legacy, so there shouldn't be sadness. For example, did you know he co-hosted SNL with Joe Montana in 1987?
Yep.
So in 1987, him and Joe Montana co-hosted Saturday Night Live. I gotta go look for that.
Yeah, right. I'll definitely look for that after this show.
No, I gotta go look for that episode. So that's sweetness. And David, to your question, I didn't start with him because I'm trying to be balanced. Like I could cover so many different Bears players, and so I just want to make sure that I try to represent as many different players as possible. So. That's why.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen, maybe I don't know if this is the first time you've seen, we have had I was gonna say a buttload, but I don't want to say that. We've had a lot of people watching. We've had a lot of people watching. And if you have not seen, if this is the first time you've seen Diversity with Delilah, you are missing out. Right. You are missing out. There's a playlist out for every Diversity with Delilah that we've done. She's gone over Jim Plunkett. She's gone over Tom Flores. She's gone over, you know what I mean?
Too many
people.
Too many
I went blank. I'm sorry.
Jerry Rice.
Yes. I'm sorry. Yes. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a great show. I'm just so into it. I'm into the comments and everything. This has been great. Yes. So appreciate you for that. Love it.
Yes.
Love it, Sean. Thanks kindly. I don't know what I did, but thank you. Thank you, Delilah.
No problem. Yeah. I even covered, and you know that Sydney was happy Mel Blount, right? In the Mel Blount rule. I'm gonna cover a Dallas player soon, trust me, but I know Sean won't kick me off.
I was about to say, I already took Nick out the show. Delilah, I don't want to take you out the show. All right.
Unless you're gonna do Diversity with rap sheets. Then you can do
Stop it.
You go, Nick.
Come on. There's so many players.
We got right. All right, great. Delilah, I appreciate that. I am so That was great because Walter Payton is by far. Look, I love Barry. That's my guy personally. You got, to me, I mean, is Jim Brown and Walter Payton. It's those two are the greatest. I mean, and as far as modern time,
Jim play live. I wish I could have seen Jim play live.
As far as modern time, and Nick, I know you're older than us, but I mean, I experienced him in the later '80s, and Walter just. I mean, by far. I mean, he was
to watch that guy run.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like I've watched a lot of the reels, right? And I've shown it to people who are younger than me. And I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, that's how good he was.
We had no offensive line until the early '80s when we started drafting. What would become the black and blue line that for the Super Bowl. But I mean, like he would run around. He'd run in circles. He'd run 30 yards. Left to right before he'd actually run north and south. Like seriously, he would come back. Like it was just amazing to watch this guy work. And again, all his teammates loved him. You could never hear anybody say a bad word about Walter. He was a comedian. He kept everything light. He was, fun at practice, but he was always the leader. He was always the guy that if you needed someone to motivate the team, you went to Walter. And Walter would always say, like, come on, guys, this is our, go to. And so I was so happy that actually that team won the Super Bowl. Like, to be honest with you, like, I know Walter didn't get his touchdown, but the fact that at least Walter got a Super Bowl ring is a great thing.
Yeah, he didn't even show up for the Super Bowl shuffle.
Right, I mean, and he said they called me
wrapped his part from
like dance. Taking the ball is like make a romance. We had the goal since training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl chance.
He would have the rap line
because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. I didn't come here to start no trouble. I just came here to do the Super Bowl.
There we go, Nick.
Weakness, baby, right?
Yo, that is what's up. I appreciate that. I love that. I definitely want to real quick address this before we move on. Wendy was saying the new names was come out on Wednesday. I too,
February 2nd.
Yeah, I heard February 2nd.
Yeah.
I definitely heard February 2nd.
There's rumors that it's out, but they don't know if that's. They're just people.
Well, well, we know because everybody in the Washington camp had said it was going to be Red Wolves, but since the Timberwolves have already trademarked that, we can't use Red Wolves.
So it's the Admirals, isn't it?
Admirals, Commanders, Presidents have heard. I don't care. At this point, I'm wearing the R. I may or may not have a crew of people that are going on eBay and just finding everything that's Washington and Redskins and all that.
I mean, here's an obvious joke, Ron, and I'm just going to say, given your offense, you should be called the Washington Monuments. Whoa!
So this is let's talk football. The Roundtable with Sean and Delilah. Nick Delilah. I don't know what happened to Nick on the show. You know what?
Come on, you Washington Monuments. Come on, that was a good one. Come on.
I'm not going to talk about my team that has the 9th pick in the draft right now. I'm not going to discuss that. Okay, I'm not going to discuss that.
Maybe you could pick one of the quarterbacks that are coming out.
Sam Howell, baby. Sam Howell. All right, we're moving on. Nick, you did good this week.
Yes.
The second longest segment.
Right, the second longest segment of the show
is my guy Nick with Nick's picks, and I got to shout you out, man, because you and I talked before the show about trying to figure this stuff out,
trying to help you out,
and parlays and all this stuff, man. Yeah. I've lost some money. Nick, I need you to go ahead and let us know what's up.
All right. Well, I did go 3-1 this week, kids. So if you followed me, you probably did good. We did lose the Texans game, but that's okay. They were 12.5, and San Francisco managed to beat them by like 16. So lost that game and went 3-1. So in the last 2 weeks, 7-1, my friend. So here we go week 18. Big game here. There's always big games. But I'm going to start with this because, again, you know how it is when you just keep something's rolling and you just keep going with it. And you go, oh, this is so beautiful. Okay. I know. Don't start with me. But think about this. Think about this, guys. How important is this Indianapolis Colts, Jacksonville Jaguars game, right? Colts win and they're in. If somehow they manage to lose this game, man, Carson Wentz will probably never hear the end of it. Even if it's not his fault, you'll blame Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
But literally, the Colts are giving up 15.5 points. Oof. Now, again, there is a stat here. And again, I know people like stats or like numbers. Just for the record, since I think it was I read that this morning, 2013, the Colts have not beaten Jacksonville at home. And this game is at Jacksonville. Just something to throw out there, just saying. So I will take Jacksonville minus 50. With Jacksonville's getting the points. So however you want to look at it, Colts are giving up 15. So I will take Jacksonville plus 15.5. I'll put it that way. Next game on the docket for me is actually a game that I think it's just one of those, Arizona's playing Seattle. Seattle has absolutely nothing to play for. Yes, they'll come out and play. It's Russell Wilson. The Cardinals need to strengthen themselves to get ready for the playoffs. The Cardinals are giving up 6.5. I think they'll beat Seattle by more than 6.5, at least a touchdown, 10 points. So I'm going to take Arizona and the minus 6.5. Now, for my next game, this is one I think that's actually kind of weird. I understand that, the Packers don't really have anything to play for. They have secured their spot, but they're playing the Lions. And again, it's one of the, even if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play, you got to think that the Packers can at least beat the Lions by a field goal, right? Green Bay is only giving up 2.5 points to the Lions. So I will take Green Bay to win that game by more than 2.5 points. So I will take Green Bay minus the 2.5. Now, for my last game this week, Cincinnati and Cleveland. Again, Cleveland is officially eliminated. And as much as they tried to play valiantly last night, it's just not going to work. It's not going to work. It didn't work. The Bengals are giving up only 3 points to this bad Cleveland team. Yeah. Even again, Bengals have plenty to play for still in terms of seeding. I think, again, Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase, anyone? So I will take Bengals -3 against the Cleveland Browns this week. So those are my 4 picks, boys and girls. Listen to your Uncle Nicky. We're 7-1 in the last 2 weeks. I think we got some good stuff here for this week. So go out there, get your parlays in, get your FanDuel, get your DraftKings, get everything. Let's have some fun for Week 18. It's the final week of the season. Let's go win some cash. Everybody start the new year off right, and let's just go have a good time. So those are my picks for this week, and love you, baby. Love you.
There you go. Hey, you're not Nick. None of you are another. What did you say, Nick, a couple weeks ago? You said, I'm Nick, and you're
I'm
not.
Nick Rosario. I'm Nick Rosario, and none of you ever will be.
Let's get it. Hey, like they say, thank you for being a friend. Here we go. Right. Here we go. Let's get it. Hey, I am with it. Hey, thank you so much for all of you that are watching. Appreciate you, Nick.
For sure. You guys are the best.
I wish the last 2 weeks I would have actually bet with you, but apparently you haven't been the greatest all year. So
no, I had Hey, end of the year, babe. I told you I'd make a comeback.
That's it. Let's go.
Let's go.
Hey, tune in next week because Nick will definitely be giving us his, for the record for the year. The record
Super Bowl prediction. Yeah, we're going for it all, baby.
We're going all the way.
That's right. Next week we're going for it, folks.
All of it.
You're gonna, as a matter of fact, you're gonna want to see next week's show. I guarantee.
Let's go.
That one is gonna be. We've already talked about it. It's gonna be fun. I think we're gonna have a great time. I'm sure Sean will want to throw in a guest or two. Delilah can diversify all she needs to. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Right. It's going to be great. Delilah's going to give her, but see, but also Delilah's going to tell you what she thinks is going to happen in the playoffs. So, I mean, you don't want to miss any of next week, my friends. I'm telling you. Yeah. It's going to be a fabulous show. Fabulous show.
Anytime I hear diversify, I think you're like portfolios.
Yeah, right. I know. I use the different personal word, but it's like
no, I know, but that's what I think about all of a sudden.
Like, wait a minute, my portfolio.
And ladies and gentlemen, hey, just so you know, I before we get into our last segment of the show, I do want to let you know we will be doing Let's Talk Football tomorrow. And I'm just gonna play this. I don't know why, but it's been in here and I haven't played it in a while. So. Got Jello. Yep, got Jello. I'm a Jello eater, but I wanted to also show that because my baby was in the background. She was teaching virtually. That was a year ago.
Oh, okay.
Hey, shout out to the teachers. I got to show love to my teachers and show love to the Virginia teachers that all of a sudden got a snowstorm and now we don't have to teach for 3 days in a row.
Whoa, yeah. Oh, you're one of those states. Oh my God!
Yeah, we are one of those states.
Shut them
we
down.
never get snow, and then all of a sudden we get snow. Now it's 3 days in a row. We're not going down there.
Come move here, man.
Oh, I saw that. Wasn't there like I-95 or something? Y'all made the news. Like a bunch of trucks and cars got shut down. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh,
shut down.
But they said people were stuck on there for like a whole day or something. I was like, yikes.
Yeah, come on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, so
come on,
come on. But look, hey, we are close to the end of this show, and we are somewhat on time with everything that happened. I think we're pretty much on time.
That was a good show, right? So, it deserved an hour and a half. Come on, it was good.
But hey, you know what it is. We're coming close to the end of the show, and the end of the show, we do our last segment, which is one last word. Yeah, buddy. Hey, we're doing it. One last word, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Rosario, I'm going to come to you.
Oh.
And Mr. Lila will come to you next. Nick, one last word. New year has begun. What you got, man?
Okay, so I didn't mention it earlier just because I didn't want everybody to make a big hoo-ha. But and again, I'm Facebook friends with a lot of you guys, so you'll find out by the end of the week. But my last word is actually more of a number, and the number is 49. And the reason the number is 49 is that this Friday, January 7th,
let's go.
Yours truly turns 49.
I knew it was near my mom's birthday.
Hold up. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Let's go. baby.
See what I was trying to avoid? Do you see why? No. But
hey,
thank you, Sean.
at least you sang the cool birthday song.
I truly appreciate, Sean. I do truly appreciate that, sir. You sang me a birthday song. I love that. But no, as you get older, sometimes you reflect on things. As I told you, I feel like I've been reflecting a lot lately, the last few months. But honestly, from the bottom of my heart, this old man is very grateful for having a platform like this to be able to give his stupid opinions on football and make his corny jokes and pick on everybody who comes on here as a guest and all that other fun stuff. I really appreciate you guys accepting me and letting me in and, being part of your weekly entertainment, whatever you want to call it. We've been doing this now for almost close to a year. I'll never forget the initial when we were just talking about this, which started with me, Sean, and Delilah and Kev, who was Delilah's boyfriend, watching a Minnesota Vikings game on a Zoom thing, right?
Yeah.
We're just watching the Bears game, just talking about sports, and somehow it gelled into this.
Right?
So very grateful for that. Again, it's always fun when you can do things, and it's important to know, like, I actually do like these people. It's always fun when you do something you like, but it's always better. It's always better when you do it with people you actually like, right? I mean, this is a good thing. These are great people. I've had a great time doing this. Again, another year around the sun for me. We'll see what 49 brings. Obviously, right around that corner is the big 5-0. So we'll see. We won't talk about that yet. 49 first. But just very grateful. I'm grateful for all of you. To all the people who comment, who are always in the comments, who watch our show every week, who are with us, who have guested on our show, who always have something to say, which is great. I really do appreciate that. And again, thank you guys for accepting me, bringing me in. Kind of the older guy of this group. So I do appreciate that. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being my friends. You guys have a happy New Year to all of you. Again, let's do this. It's 2022. It's a new year. Hopefully we can. This year will be the year we put COVID behind us. Mm-hmm. We can all officially move on and be happy and do our things and not have to worry about tests and this and this and that. Thank you all, and I appreciate it. And again, happy 2022. Let's go. Let's do it.
Woo! Happy early birthday, Nick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo, Delilah, what you got?
Well, I just want to, before going into my word, I want to give a shout out to my mom because it's her birthday on the 6th. Right before Nick.
Happy birthday.
You say it's your birthday. It's my birthday too. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. My mom's a Capricorn too, just like you, Nick.
There you go.
Her birthday's on Thursday.
That's great people. That's so nice.
Nick bringing the tears. Not the smoke. The tears, my friend.
That's so sweet.
Come on now.
Who was
that? But who was that?
So sweet.
Cat. That was Cat. That's Cat.
Oh, Cat, I love you, dear. You put up with Sean. I love you. You put up,
I love it.
I love you, darling. Sweet. I love you, darling. Thank you, darling.
But besides my mom, I just I wanted to close with another Walter Payton quote, awesome. And he said, remember, tomorrow is promised to no one, right? Yes. And I know a lot of people say that. So basically, this is 2022, and I think to take that with us, right? Tomorrow is never promised, right? We know that. Look, everybody, like, I love Betty White, but she was literally planning her 100th birthday, right? And the reason we talk about Walter Payton and Betty White is because the impact they left on people's lives, right? And I'm not saying that y'all have to go out there and be Walter Payton, Betty White, but don't put stuff off if you can do them now, right? Like, and it doesn't have to be big things; it be small things, right? You tell someone you love them, right? Tell them you care about them. Pick up a phone, say something now, because something you just never know. True. And your feelings are valid. If you're upset, that's fine, but don't stay upset, right? Mm-hmm. That's the key. Don't stay upset because you just don't know, guys. You just never know. Yeah. And so, like, if you're able, if you're able to kind of bridge that gap and and reach out to somebody and say sorry and things like that, by all means do it. And let's just keep working. I don't know why people always make fun of people who do New Year's resolutions. By all means, do it. Why not? The whole point of a New Year's resolution is to work on yourself. That's self-care. So
whatever makes you happy, baby.
Whatever y'all need to do, tomorrow's never promised. Start working on those New Year's resolutions. There's nothing wrong with that. Live, laugh, love. Everybody makes fun of people who have those in their houses. Yeah. And I'm like, why? Let people be happy. By God. Like, come on. There's other things to worry about.
Thank you, Mr. Handy.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
So, yeah, guys. Just, tomorrow's never promised. Do what you can. To work on yourself and reach out to someone else. And just remember that tomorrow's never promised, right? So, thank you, Anthony. Hi, Kat.
Thank you, Anthony, very much, sir.
Sorry, I saw his comment and Kat was behind you, so I was like multitasking.
No doubt. Yo, hey, I'm with you guys. I am absolutely with you guys. I want to shout out your mom, Delilah. Nick, you already know what it is, man. Want to shout out to you. Want to say happy birthday to you because, like you guys said, like, hey, it's not a promise. It's not. Ain't a promise. Tomorrow ain't promise, man. Like, we got to be real with that stuff. But I'm not going to go somber on it. I also want to shout out dear friend of ours, myself and Catherine Hughes, Alice Luya. Her birthday is tomorrow. Yes. Yeah,
happy birthday, Alice. We know Alice.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, so her birthday's tomorrow, going around. Man. Yeah.
January babies, man.
Shout out to her, man. I absolutely Alice. Just love and cherish her friendship and everything. That and she's a body, she's a great teacher, she's a great person. So love it. Yo, happy birthday to you.
Alice. Who is Alice? Oh, sorry.
Hey, right. She loves that song.
I know she probably does, right? But
look, yo, I want to say, I do want to say, I always think about what I'm going to try to figure out to say on one last word. I don't want to make it too long, but at the same time, I got so many people to thank that if I were to ever get into that, the Academy Award wrap-up music would start right away because I'd keep going. I'd be like, I want to thank this person.
We got the
but you know what I want to do?
Not the Apollo to get you off.
Right. Just get me off stage. But I want to do this real quick. I want to say another comment, from Confucius or one of these guys. I listen to a lot of quotes and comments on like YouTube. They put up, anyways. One of the comments that I saw was he said the beginning is the most important part of the work. And if we've heard it, I know another phrase that kind of is similar to that is, in order to start a journey, it starts with the first step. You step out on faith. I know that's another thing that a lot of people know. You mentioned it, Nick. A year. It's coming up on a year since we've been doing the show.
Yeah.
I talked to Catherine about it last year. I faced a situation a year ago where I love doing this. As you guys seen, we have multiple shows going on. We have a show that's coming up on Thursday called Let's Talk Football Ladies with Janae Struther, Ash Whitten, and Katie Alverson. Oh, you don't understand. You don't understand, ladies and gentlemen. I don't do this for me. I do this because the people that I am here with, they're the stars. People are like, somebody said, so you must be swinging for the fences. I said, no, I'm swinging for the moon, the galaxy, all that. And they're like, oh, really? But what if you miss? Well, I'm already with the stars, so it's not a problem.
Oh, look at that.
It is what it is. It's the truth. It's the absolute truth. I told you that when you talked about when we met on the karaoke a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to say is that people sit there and say to me, oh, man, you do all these shows. I don't know how you did it. I'm going to tell you, it took that first step. It took acknowledging that I wanted to do this and I wanted to put in the work to do this. It took going up to talking to Nick and Delilah and saying, hey, would you guys be interested in doing something like this? It took me and Sid and David talking about it on Facebook on a random comment and being like, hey, would you be down for that? Ab, Will, those guys. The things that we've done did not start overnight. They started because I took a step. I took a step on faith and said, look, I love what I'm doing. I love talking about football. And there's so many other people that loves about this. But the thing about it, I don't know if you know, I don't associate with just everybody. I don't bring on just everybody. Right. Each individual person that I bring on has a immense knowledge in what we're doing in football, in the background information, and just everything that culminates what it is we're trying to talk about. When we say let's talk football, that's what we're doing. We're talking football, NFL, college, Little League, whatever it is, but all the things that go along with it as well. These two people that I have on here with me, look, maybe I'm going to be a little braggadocious, but both of y'all could have your own show and your own little company and all the things. Y'all know what you're doing. I got to shout out my girl Delilah right now because y'all see her on Diversity with Lila and everything that she does there. They have their show that they're setting up. Delilah took the initiative and went out there and said, "Hey, look, this is what the other shows are doing. Let's try this. Let's see this. Let's do that."
For sure.
That's
it started with Kate's idea.
No. But I want to shout you. I'm shouting y'all because you're on the show. Yeah, I can individually shout out everybody. You want to be honest with me? I can shout out Ash because she daggone won the damn championship on me. Yeah, I cursed. I'm mad about that. All right. I gotta shout out Katie doing her thing, Thursday. She was the one who definitely reached out to me and said, "Hey, I think we should do this. It'd be a great idea." I reached out to everybody, but I do also I gotta shout out to my partner Janae. You already know because Janae digging out, doing the best job, everything she can do, and she's gotta keep us
in line. She's the pro. She's the pro.
But look. With all that said, I gotta shout you out, Delilah, because I'm gonna tell you, and I told Kat this. I said, look, Kat, Delilah, she went on and set this thing up and started saying, okay, well, I think we should do this. And
I'm sorry, I typed in paragraphs.
Outline. but this is what I'm saying. But this is the dream. This is the vision that I had. The vision that I had is that people don't need me to do this stuff. You guys have the gift. You guys have this. So for you to go out there and say, boom, 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 you see the vision, you see what's going on. God, I can't, you guys, you see how excited I am. Look, I can't express just how I feel about this. I am so excited. Thursday is going to be a great show. Tomorrow we got a couple great shows. Great.
Maybe Kat can guest star sometimes.
Hey, Kat Hughes will definitely be available for that. That's the next one I'm trying to get out.
I'm going to throw it out in the cosmos.
That's the next one. Hey, and tune in for Let's Talk little college basketball. I don't know, Kat. I'll write a show just so you can do it. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
No, but honestly, I say this because I don't, for those of you that know me, I don't really accept everybody. I don't bring a lot of people. Kat jokes with me all right. You don't have any friends. You don't do. No, I just don't tolerate BS. And when with me, it's if I see you, if I have what I'm envisioning, if I have something I'm doing, and I see you sitting here putting in that effort and work with me like the two of you have done from day one, even before we started the show, y'all two were there. Helping me, putting it, doing all that, it means something to me. It does, and I don't want to get all emotional, but it does.
Oh, it's okay.
So I genuinely care. We love you
too, buddy. We love you too, buddy.
Because you have to understand that we didn't know what was going to happen with Janae when she went to Australia. We didn't know any of that. So at that point, I was facing a situation where I love doing this, but I didn't know if I was going to ever do this again. It was a step out on faith. So I go back to what I said. You have to take the step. Yeah. I don't care if what people say you're not qualified. I don't care if people say you can't do this. I don't care if whatever obstacles come your way, you have to take the step. Yeah. You have to go, period. Do it. Because when you do it, then you'll keep moving. Then you'll keep adding. Then you'll keep doing. And it might not work, but if you take the step, then you know I can take the step. And I can do this. Take the step, ladies and gentlemen. Take it. Because then, hey, if you take it, then you'll one day be here a year later doing a show with these two guys laughing your butt off, sweating out here, and having your fiance telling you you're going to sleep on the couch. Ladies and gentlemen, get here and go. I got to shout out everybody who's in the comments. Anthony, Wendy, Kat, Ash, Sydney for coming on the show. Dave, all of you guys that just spend your time with us. You don't have to do this. Hey, guys, we at one point in the show, we had about 22 people watching us.
No.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Aww.
And we had a consistent 15 plus the entire show. Right now we got almost 10 getting in this.
Nice. That's nice.
But and I know people, you're like, oh my, okay, well, that's one thing. When we started this show, How many people did we have watching this when we started the show?
I think like 2 or 3, right?
No. Yo, actually, Delilah, you're right. 2 or 3.
Yeah,
probably
like Anthony was with us from the beginning.
Even before that, it was me and you. We would watch on our phones while we were doing this shit.
Yeah.
We got to shout out Wendy. Hey, we know, the NFC North,
Yeah, we got to shout out the
Wendy was here from very beginning.
Right.
Wendy was here. Anthony, Nathan, a lot of these people, we've grown a community, we've grown a following, and look, we're going to continue to bring this content to you. I apologize, we're going a little bit long, but I do want to say this because this is a new year, and like Delilah said, tomorrow's not promised. If something happens to me tomorrow, well then, hey, I will be with the Lord and Savior. But for right now, I'm going to give my people my roses while we're here because I'm not gonna wait for somebody else. There ain't nobody else gonna tell my people how I feel about them because I love these two.
I love you too, Sean. I love you, Nick.
Nothing but love, man. I'm here.
Love. So that's what it is.
I'm with you. I'm with both of you. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, let's get it. So hey, here it is, man. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. You know what it is. Jennifer King is another person that Delilah's talked about. That's the person I was thinking about, and I should have known that.
Jennifer King, right? Yeah, Jennifer King.
Yeah.
Yo, you know what it is, man. It's me, your boy, Sean Spencer. I cannot do any of this without my people. The host of Diversity with Delilah Crespo. Yeah. And my guy, Mr. Nick, I want to smoke Rosario. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and Sean. Hey guys.
All right. It's your boy Sean Spencer.
Hey,
right. Sean Spencer up there.
Hey guys. Hey, peace in the Middle East. Rain in Spain. and I love all you guys. So we'll see you next time.
Yep. Have a great week, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, happy birthday, Delilah's mom. Happy birthday, Nick. Happy birthday, Alice, and everybody else. And Cowboys, I hope you lose. Bye.
Oh, no.
Hello, everybody. Hey, what's going on, guys? I am Janae Strother. I'm Sean Spencer.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The line.
All right. I am